You won't know this because I haven't told you. All the time I've been banging on about wanting a big, safe estate car and saying I need a Volvo. I want a Volvo V70. And many people have suggested to me, why not just have a 75 estate instead? And I just thought, I don't really want one. But I do have one here. It's just that it doesn't work. Cut my finger. You may or may not be aware, but I have been thinking quite loudly about selling my beloved Rover 420 GSI Tourer, known as Toby Charles, in order to fund a lovely big estate car. But I know I will regret it. I really do know I will regret it. But I don't use it. So what's the point in keeping it? There is no point in keeping it. It may as well go somewhere it can be used. Yes, but I'll never own another one. That's true, so why don't you use the one you've got? Because it's just too precious and special. Do you ever really annoy yourself with this kind of thing? You put yourself in this situation where the solution is right there in front of you, but you have to make one tiny sacrifice, and that is just like this. The best way I can get around this problem is just to sell the car, then it's out of my hands. I can no longer be constantly thinking about what I could do with the money because I won't have the car. Yes, and as you can see, this is still here. Over the weekend I had lots and lots of people knocking about with the Project Nigel version 5 meetup, and one of these people was a lovely chap. I missed. So that is what I am going to do today, or at least try to. Swap all of the injectors, put it all back together, and then see if it'll start. That would be really helpful if it would. So it looks like a relatively straightforward job. It's a matter of taking the inlet manifold off and undoing these pipes, whatever you actually call them, undoing the injectors and then just popping them out. So it should be, what, 10 minutes? What we don't want here is a long video of every excruciating moment of trying to remove the injectors. So I'm going to kind of skip that bit. I have successfully pulled out an injector. It's the second or the third one, and I did this specifically because it looked like the top of the injector didn't have any diesel in it, and I managed to pull it out. Came out quite easily. It's covered in oil. Yeah, a very, very oily injector indeed, and it shouldn't be, should it? Hello, this is a post-lunch mustard, speaking from inside a Rover 75. 2 injectors out, 2 to put back in, and then I'll stick it all back together. You see, it is those 2 middle injectors that I think might be at fault. I could be wrong, but you never know. Well, the moment of truth has arrived. Time to try and switch it on. Will it start? Or will I have a cup of tea first? What I'm not anticipating is, even if it works, it to start straight away. It's going to struggle, isn't it? It's got to get the fuel back through and into the injectors and then everywhere. So here we go. Run the battery flat. It's just as well I've got another one of those top dom things. That one isn't fully charged either, so hopefully I'll have enough in it just to get it going. Well, it's not starting, but I might have just done something a little bit wrong here. This time we're going to use a bit of Nigel power. I know it's not good for my alternator, but I really am keen to just see if I can get this thing going. What a disappointment. What a disappointment of a day. I don't know whether I had my hopes up high or not. Obviously it's just a diesel engine. Diesel engines aren't overly complicated. They don't need electricity, do they? Why, they have electricity controlling certain things, but should be a case of if you've got compression and you've got air going into the cylinders and fuel going into the cylinders, something's going to get on fire. But for some reason, and in this instance, that isn't happening. And I'm still none the wiser of why this car is not working. A whole bunch of sensors have been changed, and the ECU isn't damp and there's fuel getting in. There's no reason why air isn't getting in. It should just start, but it isn't doing. So, and as if that was the end of today's frustration, it's not. It really isn't.